we watched 2022's The Bad Guys. We've got some thoughts. Find out what we think this week on Movies at Grandma's House. Hello. Please come in. There's some fresh cookies in the cookie jar. There's a pitcher of Kool-Aid on the counter. Have a seat. We'll put a movie on for you. This is Movies at Grandma's House, where we look at movies from the past to see with our modern eyes it's good and Grandma approves. And I'm your host, Isaac. These are the cards we've been dealt. You might as well play. And who's joining me to consider the movie The Bad Guys?
This is Seth. We may be bad, but we're so good at it.
And welcome one and all to Grandma's House. So glad you could stop by to visit. How are you feeling, my friend?
I am good. I'm so excited for this one. This has been something I've been wanting to do, and I'm just so excited for this one.
Yes, this is going to be a lot of fun to consider. There's a few years that have gone by since this came out, so there's a lot to dive into. Just see, looking back on this movie, our thoughts today. But before we do, we like to give you guys the proper spoiler warning. So consider from here on out, spoiler territory. So once again, we are considering the 2022 film, The Bad Guys. This was released back on April 22nd, 2022. It had a budget of around 69 to 80 million. Interesting, it put it within a type there, not an exact budget. But the box office was 250.4 million. Reviews looking around, Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 88%. IMDb, 6.8 out of 10. Metacritic has a 64%. And you can stream this currently, as of this recording, on Peacock. This is a DreamWorks picture that is based on the book by Aaron Bleeby. It has voice talent actors that include Sam Rockwell, Mark Maron, Craig Robinson, and many more. We're going to probably discuss that as we go on. And it was directed by Pierre Perifil. If I'm saying that correctly. I'm butcher names very well on the show, as you know. But we're also going to share Granny's family-friendly rating. So, Seth, what is Granny's family-friendly for The Bad Guys?
So Granny's family-friendly rating for The Bad Guys is B+ for crude humor and some violence.
Okay, so there you go. There's kind of a quick rundown, just a little bit about this film, but let's get into our first memories. So, Seth, I'm interested here. What's some of your first memories with this film?
So I don't get to say this often, but I saw this one fairly early when it was new. It made me really laugh. I just remember thinking they did a really nice job with this one.
Cool. And going back to this was 2022. You really didn't see movies much in the theater at this point. It feels like if you did, there was still some caution with COVID and everything. I didn't see this one, I'll admit. It was one I saw previews for, and I thought that looks pretty cool, but just never got around to see it. So this was actually my first time actually viewing it. So with that said, what were your expectations coming back to it just a few years later?
So funny enough, I've probably seen this one about 5 times, so I'm really familiar with this one. So my expectations is, just prepare yourself because I know it's coming.
There you go. Some movies are like that. That's great though. But yeah, for me, this was the first time watching it. So my expectations were, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Hope it's good. And the usual checkbox for my kids, just see how they react. What do they think of it? And that's part of the fun for me, is just seeing their reaction. Hopefully we'd have a good time with it. Well, before we get into the plot rewind, let's pause just a moment to hear from our sponsors. Hey, love movies as much as we do? Then bring the experience of the theater to your walls with movieposters.com. Whether you're into the classics, the blockbusters, or indie gems, they have something for every single film fanatic. As a listener of our podcast, you can save up to 15% on your order right now. Just use code Grandma's House 15 at checkout. Head to movieposters.com and let's build your ultimate collection today. All right, so let's pull up Peacock, let's select The Bad Guys, and press play.
After a lifetime of legendary heists, notorious criminals Mr. Wolf and his gang are finally caught. To avoid prison, these criminals must pull off their most challenging con yet, being good. Will they be able to do it? Grab a snack, find a spot on the floor, and enjoy the show.
There you go. Okay, this is a interesting premise. Like you're bringing out, these are the bad guys, like the title suggests, but there's a lot of confliction. There's a lot of back and forth of how the characters are going to react. What are they really doing? Are they double crossing each other? That's kind of what I was reading as I'm watching this film. But I'm wanting to hear from you. What are your first impressions as you watch the movie?
I just was drawn in. It was very clever. The voice acting really caught my attention right off the bat.
Yeah, the voice acting sticks out, it for sure. And you might not recognize the actors themselves, but I got to hand it to them. They picked the right actors for each character. It felt like they just really clicked and they were just very seamless. It didn't feel out of place like, oh, that kind of sticks out. No, each character, it felt like to me, worked really well. So I agree with you on that. I think the animation, if I'm going to say there's maybe a knock on this, the animation might be a little off. And it's not that it's bad animation. It sounds bad of me saying that because I think there's some great parts in this animation, but maybe it just doesn't click with me. And we've talked about animation and film that we've considered how I gush about it. I'm like, I love this animation, but it might not be everyone's cup of tea. Maybe that's all it was, but what did you think of the animation? I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
So I did notice the style was different, and I'm pretty sure that's what you're looking at. The style was very, I would say, unique. It wasn't flashy. What I've seen of the upcoming movie, The Bad Guys 2, it looks a little flashier. So it might have been the budget. I don't know if it's the way they did it, but I know exactly what you mean.
It could be. Yeah, maybe it's just they went for the more simple approach, and I can like simple. So it sounds like I'm really bashing it, but I'm really not. It's just maybe it didn't click with me as much. Like some animations, the movie, yeah, it's okay, but I could watch it like all the time because the animation's just so good. I didn't quite feel that way, and I'm not trying to sit here and say every single animated movie has to be gorgeous and great. I think this has a great style for what it is, for what the story's about. It fits well, but I guess if I'm looking at it from impressions, I was kind of like, oh, the animation's just kind of not clicking with me. But we'll get into it. There's so much good stuff in this movie I really, really like. I mean, start with the characters. What did you think of Mr. Wolf, the kind of the main focal point of this movie?
Mr. Wolf was really entertaining. I think they set the tone really quickly in this film. As far as his character, I loved all the characters, the main characters. The Snake, the Shark, Diane Fossington. Their voice acting, like I mentioned, was really on par, or even better, I would say, than what you would expect. The characters were just, we could dive in if you want. They're all really unique and defined. I use that term a lot. But they're so good. They're just so fitting. They fit the plot. They fit the way the characters look. They sound right. They just did a good job with the characters on this one.
I agree. I like how they, like you said, they matched. Like the wolf is the leader. Mm-hmm. You have a snake he's like the safe cracker. He's very sneaky, kind of like a snake would be. You have a spider who's a hacker. I kind of find that fitting somehow. Maybe some are like, I don't know, but I kind of did. It just kind of clicked for me having the spider as your IT, like can really get into systems and hack them. You have the shark, which I find hilarious, a master of disguise. That's just being, funny. And I loved it. I thought that was great. And then the piranha was like the muscle, kind of, again, ironic, small little piranha, somehow out of water, but it's a cartoon. So you just kind of throw that. How many countless Looney Tunes or other characters make no sense with the animal they are. But I thought it was great. I mean, the characters, like you said, it's a Professor Marmalade, I think. Is that it, or is he not Professor? Is he just Marmalade? I love him. Yes, I love his voice. The actor, wasn't he on the IT Crowd or one of those English TV shows, I believe, or am I thinking of someone else?
I've got a fun fact for that one. So you want me to say it now or do you want me to hold off?
We can hold off. I don't want to, I do a good job on that, don't I? I always get into the fun facts.
You're fine.
Yeah, just again, the characters, I agree completely with you on the characters. They just really shine here. I think that's the strength of this movie is the characters, but the plot is really good too. That whole thought of going back and forth and going back to Professor Marmalade, they show that twist early. you kind of see it coming. They give you those hints of like, he's this great person and helped this town because of the meteorite that came in and all this stuff. But midway through, it's where that twist happened. What did you think of the plot and the direction? I mean, there's a lot you can consider, but just that aspect of it goes this way and then it goes the other.
So I really liked the plot. It must have been a really good book. It does have quite a few twists in it, which I did not expect initially watching this film. So I really enjoyed how it kind of went back and forth and kept you guessing.
Yeah. And like the end is really well done. I think that's another place this shines. Again, it's spoiler, but the premise of Mr. Wolf and Mr. Snake are at odds with each other because Mr. Wolf's starting to feel like he should do good. He feels good about it. His tail wags and that sort of thing when he helps a elderly woman towards the beginning, and then that kind of builds on the plot of, is he going to be good concerning being this bad guy? And at the end, where it turns out Snake is the one, the whole time Snake just is like, I'm always bad. Like it's hinted like he's never going to turn, but he's the one at the end that saves them by, I thought it was really cool, taking control of the hamsters, because that was the whole plot of Professor Marmalade, was to control a bunch of hamster gerbils or whatever they are. And when he got the helmet, acting like he was working with him, that's when he switched it. That little switcheroo, I thought it was really well done, because a lot of movies try to throw you curveballs, like you're not going to see it coming. And it certainly kind of did that, but it didn't feel forced. Does that make sense? Is that how you felt too?
It just, I think the timing of it worked for me. It came at a time, like typically the curveballs didn't come at the time that I was expecting them. So it worked. It was fresh. It wasn't like I could guess everything that was going to happen right up front or anything. So I appreciated it.
Yeah. That's what I appreciate. That's what kind of stuck out. We can go back to the characters or anything else, but I'm interested to hear, what else did you want to bring out or touch on about the film? Just anything in particular.
Without giving it away, I don't, there's a quote that I really liked. It's a longer quote, but I'll slim it down for everybody. I really liked when they said, "Do not Clooney me, Wolf," but she Wolf was trying to charm her, and they used the phrase "Clooney me." So I liked that. That was really clever.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's the governor. That's another character we didn't touch on. She ends up being also this like bad person midway through. So there's a lot of double crossing, a lot of, they're like double agents, quote unquote, too. I really liked her character too. She was that like love interest of Mr. Wolf and almost was a few steps ahead of him. Being a fox, I thought that was fitting. And she even brings that out. There's a quote where she's like, I am a fox, being how smart and all that sophistication with her. So I think, I can't go on enough. The characters are really strong in this movie. They really focus on that. That is a part of the plot, again, of that confliction of these bad guys. And that's fun. In that opening scene, you see them just having a good time. They're enjoying how things are, but they've also got that ego. That's what got them in trouble in the first place. They try to get that. What was the statue again? It was like a certain statue that they were trying to.
Golden Dolphin, I think.
Yeah. And they took it personal because it was, again, the governor. She's on the TV and she's just like, oh, they aren't doing a great job. It's another bank and all. And it was just like an ego thing. So it almost gives you good lessons of, they're bad guys, but they're just, it's a cartoon. They make it more in a harmless way. But it goes back to, again, that can be harmful to you, obviously, when you do bad. And especially if you have like an ego like they do. So I feel like it makes you feel good when you watch this, as much as it's called the bad guys, and there's all this things they do that aren't always what you would encourage people to do. It still leaves you feeling good afterwards. What do you think of that too? Like, is that some themes that you're picking on or anything else that you picked up?
I really enjoyed, not to say exactly what you said, but I really enjoyed how they kind of made you guess at like maybe 3/4 of the way through the film whether or not they are good guys. And that was I liked that. I liked that way that it kind of went down a different path. And then at the end you see what happens, but you're kind of like wondering, are are they good or are they bad still? You know what I mean? Like, so it worked out really well in the ending, but yeah, I like the way they did that.
Yeah. That's kind of like the driving force with this movie. But along with the characters, along with the plot, it's got some really funny lines in it too. I like the humor. It's totally random, but I found myself, one of the parts I laughed at the most was they're showing that heist, getting that golden dolphin, and it's behind this vault. It's got lasers. It's got all these different security precautions on it. And one is there's security guards standing outside the door. And one of the guards just grabs a fly and just starts punching it. I don't know why that was so funny to me. I was cracking up.
There's a lot of little stuff like that I liked in this film.
Yeah, there's tons of those. What were some of your favorites on that?
My I didn't put this quote down, but my favorite quote was when the shark was dressed as a woman and he goes, "I'm having a baby." And he goes, "Is there a doctor or like 3 security guards that could like unman the positions so they can come help me?" Like, little things like that made me laugh so hard in this film.
And I laughed really hard afterward when they said, "Okay, you're clear." He's like, "Oh, that's right. I'm not pregnant. What am I doing?" And just walked away. Yeah, that's what's great about this movie. It's got some really clever writing to it. It's got the traditional animation humor, the part with the cat. They're being instructed by Professor Marmalade before he turns bad. He's trying to help them out to be good. So he's running them through all these. It's kind of like a gauntlet of good acts. And the one is when they're trying to get the cat down. My kids were dying laughing at that whole scene, just them trying to get it down, and they're just like, "Come down," and they're mean, and it scares the cat, and just little stuff like that. I thought it was really clever. It got me chuckling a lot, and that's what you want. I think that's what you're expecting anymore with animation, but they can't pull it off. I would say this is one of the better ones that's able to pull off the humor, and it's not over the top. It's not too much of a slapstick. Is that how you would describe the humor?
Yeah, it's just on point. Like, they don't go too far. It's still classy, if you ask me.
Yeah. There's so much though. I mean, it's a nice package film, I feel like. Overall, again, it's got everything you'd want in it. It's got the characters, the plot, and the quotes, and all that put together. But yeah, anything else that you want to touch on and bring out?
I'm sorry, I apologize. You covered one of the fun fact trivia question. So I've been trying to dig in through and grab it. Whatever you want to cover next is fine, but I'm just making amendments to my notes or whatever you call it. So
You're good. Yeah, I think the best part of the film was the dynamics of Wolf and Mr. Snake, their friendship, because that does get brought out in the plot of, are they good, are they bad? Because there's a little glimpse of, obviously, Mr. Wolf, he gets excited, he wags his tail, and realizes, actually, I feel good when I'm doing good stuff. Mm-hmm. The quote at the beginning, it says, these are the cards we're dealt. People view us as monsters. So they're just kind of going with what the public views them. And that was a different feeling for Mr. Wolf, because actually, no, some people view them as not monsters, they're good people. And that's where that confliction starts. And I think that's the strength of this film, is really seeing their dynamics. Really fun friendship that they have. Who would have thought a wolf and a snake could be friends? But here we are. I think it just worked really well. What'd you think of their dynamic?
I actually will comment on that later, but yeah, it's a really cool dynamic. The different relationships the different criminals have with each other, I thought was really clever. Like their backstories, they didn't really go into that much, but since it is a book, I'm sure they have a very deep, rich history with each other. But for the movie, it just worked really well. I liked their dynamic. Their characters were just and then the voiceover work on top of that made it just so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, the voiceover, I mean, go back to, again, Sam Rockwell, Mark Maron, they're the voices of Mr. Wolf and Mr. Snake. They work so well. Yeah, they really bounce off of each other. They give you that impression like they've been friends for years. And I think a lot of that has to do with the actors. I think they probably got along, and it came across, at least for me, I sensed that anyway in the voice acting there. Well, I'm interested to hear, since we've been touching on it. We've been kind of beating around the bush a little bit there, but let's have at it. What are some of your fun facts you have?
I just love the fact that you actually covered one of the fun fact trivia question. I love it. It made me scramble, and I was like, I love this. I'm still listening for your cues, and like, it was awesome. Anyway, our first fun fact is actually the film's opening diner scene is the longest one shot in DreamWorks animation history, lasting 2 minutes and 25 seconds and with 7 frames. So that was an interesting, I found that all over the internet. So that's a big one. Usually like the opening shots are typically quite quick. That was a oneer, and that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
The second fun fact, you covered this a little bit, but in Paddington 2, I'm going to butcher this name, but Richard Ayoade, maybe, plays a professor who uses marmalade as evidence in court to have Paddington convicted. In this film, he plays Professor Marmalade.
Yes. You know what? I was thinking about that, and it didn't fully click until you said that. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, and I'm thinking of Paddington, but I didn't think about, and Paddington 2. Man, that just tells you I must have been so immersed in the movie. I just thought, oh, that's a nice, funny name or something. That's really cool.
I didn't catch it. So I found it all over the internet. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Both these fun facts are plastered all over the place. But I had another fun fact, but I kind of traded it in for a trivia question. So if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So it's time for a fun fact trivia question. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. Let me see if I can keep the streak going.
All right. In the books, it's mentioned that Mr. Snake is a childhood friend of Mr. Wolf. But how much older is Mr. Snake than Mr. Wolf? What'd you guess? A, 16 years older, B, 18 years older, or C, 26 years older?
Wow. I wouldn't have thought that much older then, but I guess with the animal dynamics, reptiles usually live longer. I'm going to go with, was it 18? Was that the second one?
Oh, I hate it because I know you would have got the initial question right, but it was C, 26 years. So in the books, I haven't read it. They actually have Mr. Snake being 26 years older than Mr. Wolf, and they were really good friends. And I thought that was really cool. So I brought that one up last minute.
That's cool. I didn't notice that either. My one son, he likes the book. I remember him reading it, so I'll have to ask him about that. I should have asked him a little bit more, but he was one that enjoyed this movie. They all seemed to enjoy it. He was one who especially enjoyed it, and probably because he's read the books or read the book, I should say, and could connect it with the film. So that's really cool.
In a way, you did win because you brought out the answer to my trivia question originally. So in the way you did win, your streak is still continued. I just threw one in there real fast to see if it would stick or not. So, whatever.
I was caught off guard. That's all we'll say. I was not ready for it. I was ready for the other one. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. You had your mind set on the other one subliminally, but this one didn't, it caught you off guard. So I'm sorry.
It's all good. I'll get the next one, I'm sure, because I've been a little bit better than recent. It was kind of sad. I was like, I'm not going to get any of these when we first had the trivia questions, but at least I'm probably closer to 50%. So I'll get it next time, though. We're all good. All right. So let's take a look now at some of the reviews that are out there. So Seth, what kind of reviews are you seeing?
Well, the first one I found was I Love Food Coma says, good family movie, 7 out of 10.
I love Food Coma. I guess movies and food go hand in hand, but I guess we can trust him. He must be a good movie buff there if that's the case. But 7 out of 10, that's a decent, good rating for the film. Yeah.
If you like that one, you'll like this one. So top_dog_critic said, fun for the entire family, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it is pretty much for the whole family. Again, it's bad guys. They rob banks and stuff, but it's more on that like Looney Tunes side. It's just more on a cartoon. So yeah, this is, I think, even with the premise, these are bad guys. It's a family film. I would definitely say it's one of those. So that's a good one.
So lastly, Don Murray 29 says, Fun, action, laughs, and lots of crime film homages. 9 out of 10.
That's the thing. I guess if you like the premise of crime, like the bad guys and all, this has a fun take on it, though. Again, it makes you feel good that everybody ends up being good. Spoilers, of course, but everybody turns out being good. Is it Wolf? But everybody kind of learns, hey, I can be a good person. We'll get into our reviews more. That's some more we can bring out. So
something I didn't bring out was there's not many children's caper movies, which I really love caper movies. So I'm glad that they had this for a new generation, I would say, to stumble upon. So that was to me, that's a really that kind of bumped up even a level higher, I would say, for me.
That's true. Like, this isn't going to be an easy movie to make for kids, honestly.
No.
That premise, but they, we'll get into it. Let's just leave it at that. Let's go ahead and get into our reviews so we can kind of expound on a little more. So, Seth, I'm gonna say we've reworded our rating just a little bit. So now it's just tweaked to take it home, watch it at grandma's, or hide it in the attic. So those are the 3 ratings. We just felt, to make a little more clear on the rating system, that little tweak will make it a little bit more of like where we're wanting to put a film. So I got to ask you the question for The Bad Guys. Seth, how are you going to rate it? Are you going to take it home? Are you going to watch it at grandma's? Or are you going to hide it in the attic?
I'm actually going to take this one home. It really hits me in the funnies, and it's a bunch of laughs.
There you go. And you did take it home. You own this one. I saw you had it. So there it is. So that goes without saying. But, we have films sometimes we own and we wouldn't maybe want to take it home. It just ends up in our collection somehow. But that's great. I was expecting that. I really enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of laughs with this. My kids loved it. They had a lot of fun with it. I liked, again, the plot. I liked the characters. It's like, what more do you want out of this film? I'll just say there was something that wasn't quite clicking with me, and I don't know what it was. I was right on the fence because I was like, I want to take this home so bad, but I almost feel like it's a good one to revisit every once in a while, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So my final rating is going to be watch it at grandma's, but I'm going to be anxious to revisit this one again. I can't wait. This is probably one that, for me, grandma's going to put it up on display. So when I'm coming to visit, it's like, let's get this one out. That's going to be one of the first ones to get out. If maybe can't really say it was the animation. There's just something, maybe it just didn't put it where I want to watch it over and over again. But that's just me. I think it was a great movie. What more could you ask for otherwise? Because I had a great time with it. I love seeing my kids laugh. They thought it was hilarious. So I'll be anxious to revisit this one soon for sure.
Very cool.
All right. There it is, folks. We have another one in the books, and we considered The Bad Guys 1. But The Bad Guys 2 is coming out soon. So if you like this movie, chances are you're probably going to be interested in seeing the second one. So stay tuned. We might have a review of that coming out soon. Well, before we wrap things up, Seth, why don't you tell the good people where they can find and connect with us?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can email us at moviesatgrandma's I almost got it there. moviesatgrandmashouse@gmail.com. We have a newsletter, so keep up to date on all things Grandma's House, Movies at Grandma's House. We're on Patreon, so check us out, become a member, and go to movieposters.com, type in Grandma's House 15 at checkout for 15% off.
Right, there you go. Be sure again to be on our newsletter because we have our monthly contest where you can win a free poster from movieposters.com. Big shout out to them because it's a lot of fun. We want to see as many get in on that, get your chances of your own poster. It could be up behind you. It could be The Bad Guys. It could be any kind of childhood movie that you grew up with and love. Well, that's going to do it for our time at Grandma's, but don't worry, we will be back soon. So in the meantime, remember to be kind and rewind. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.